Well, and let's begin with the top stories of this hour. Government's proclamation contradicts with the priority of the annual budget. Defence budget unreasonably higher than development budget. Home Minister involved in looking after vehicular pollution and taking action against contractor companies. Stakeholder authorities remain indifferent towards their responsibilities. At least 48 people killed after their boat capsized off the eastern coast of Tunisia. 67 others rescued by the Coast Guard. And Brazil thrashes Croatia 2-0 in the international friendly prior to Russia World Cup. Spain held at Switzerland at a 1-all draw. The government has planned to double the country's agricultural production in the next 5 years. The annual budget for the fiscal year 2018 and 19, however, has kept agriculture as one of its lowest priorities. On the other hand, the government has unreasonably increased the defense budget at a time when it's widely been acclaimed that the country has moved towards political stability, but the logical conclusion of the armed conflict and political transition. The country is neither mired in armed conflict nor is there any challenge to contain violent resistance at the current juncture. The country has already completed promulgating a democratic constitution and successfully held all 3 levels of elections, thus institutionalizing federalism. The path for the transformation was paved after the then Maoist insurgents joined the peace process, which was followed by the successful people's uprising that entered the country into republicanism. Based on the very premises, the government has declared that the country has now embarked towards development and prosperity. But contrary to the public announcement, the government's budget still resembles the period when the country was plunged into the armed insurgency. For instance, the current defense budget stands at 45.1 billion rupees, that is around 9% more than in the last fiscal year. This is contrary to the public's expectation of reduction in the budget meant for maintaining peace and security, especially after the long-awaited political stability. The budget for infrastructure development and independent economy, however, has failed to increase compared to the defense budget. The scenario indicates that the government is not clear about its own priorities, let alone long-term development goals. Now let's move on to national political updates. The Home Ministry is currently busy in listing out contractor companies instead of focusing on its major responsibility of maintaining internal peace and security. The authorities meant to look after physical infrastructure and construction have, however, remained largely indifferent in this regard. In one of such instances, Home Minister Ram Bahadur Thapa carried out the inspection of vehicular pollution by himself yesterday, although both transportation and pollution do not fall under the jurisdiction of the Home Ministry. Likewise, upon the direction of Home Minister Thapa, the chief district officers of 70 districts have sent the list of contractors failing to live up to their deadlines. The Kathmandu district administration alone has sent a list of 300 contractor companies that have failed to complete their work on time. This including blacklisting and taking action against the irresponsible contractors, however, fall under the responsibilities of the Physical Infrastructure and Development Ministry. It's evident that hundreds of development projects have remained uncertain due to contractor companies' apathy and sluggishness towards their works. The initiative taken by the Home Ministry could attract public attention and to some extent instill fear among the contractors shying away from their responsibilities. However, it's unlikely to attain any required result if the actual body responsible to look after the matter remain mum and inactive. Analysts say that it's imperative for all government authorities to fully live up to their responsibilities and move ahead in a coordinated fashion so as to ensure overall progress and development. Welcome back after the break. Chering Wangel Khale alias Dr. Debit, one of the suspects in the 33-kilogram gold smuggling case, surrendered himself before the Morang District Court yesterday. The court started recording his statements shortly after he turned himself in at the court. According to SP Manoj Kisi of the District Police Office, Morang Khale surrendered himself before the court at around 10 yesterday morning. He was in the most wanted list of the police. Kalei is a relative of Fuzum Gurum. During the investigation, Kalei was found as one of the major investors in the scandal. He has been suspected of looting the gold following dispute with another investor, Mohan Agrawal, known as MK. Churamani Upreti alias Gore in his statement previously had identified Kalei as one of the investors in the gold scam. The government has started conducting pollution tests in the streets of Kathmandu from yesterday. On the occasion of celebrating a week-long Work Environment Day, the Ministry of Forest and Environment started the pollution test campaign from the streets of the capital itself. During the cross-check conducted yesterday, majority of the vehicles had failed to the pollution level test, despite having green stickers. The ministry has meanwhile said that it would conduct the cross-test on a daily basis from now onwards. The World Environment Day is celebrated on the 5th of June every year. Now the international update. At least 48 migrants died after the boat capsized off the eastern coast of Tunisia. 67 others from Tunisia and elsewhere were rescued by the Coast Guard. The country has become an important new route for migrants trying to make the crossing to Europe in the past year. This comes after moves against human traffickers in Libya who have regularly enslaved, tortured or murdered migrants. According to Interior Ministry, latest boat to go down off Tunisia was packed with about 180 people, about 100 whom were Tunisian. Unemployed Tunisians and other Africans often seek to cross the Mediterranean Sea in makeshift boats from Tunisia to Sicily in Italy. The International Organization for Migration said that more than 32,000 people have reached Europe by sea so far this year, and 660 people have died attempting the crossing. 7 people have been killed and nearly 300 injured after Guatemala's Fujo volcano erupted. The volcano, about 40 kilometers southwest of the capital, Guatemala City, has been spewing black smoke and ash in the sky. Flows of lava have reportedly struck at least one village, causing deaths and injuries. People have been evacuated from several areas and the capital's La Aurora airport has closed. President Jimmy Morales communicated that a national emergency response was underway. The head of the National Disaster Prevention Authority, Sergio Cabanas, told that a river of lava had changed course towards a small town. The Guatemalan government said that a total of about 1 million people have been affected by the eruption.
Public pulse.
And the question is, what's necessary to properly manage the income and expenses of holy sanctuaries? And options are A. Keep record of donations, and B. Carry out auditing. The voting is on. Type in AWS, select your option A or B and send it to 8080 to share your opinion with us. The country came across dozens of commissions related to educational reformation during the past 68 years. However, most of the reports prepared by the commissions were confined to paper rather than being implemented. And in this context, we had asked the residents of Kathmandu and Thabing why they think the reports pertaining to education system have remained unimplemented. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
स्वार्थसँग चाहिँ उनीहरुसँग विभिन्न किसिमका स्वार्थसँग जोडिए र चाहिँ जबसम्म चाहिँ यसमा नीतिगत भ्रष्टाचारहरूको अन्त्य हुँदैन र चाहिँ राज्य बलियो हुँदैन त्यति बेलासम्म यी चाहिँ प्रतिबद्धता कार्यान्वयन हुँदैन
जुन लेभलमा राजनीतिक कर्मी त्यो ठाउँमा पुगेको हुन्छ र त्यसले यो कुरा कार्यान्वयन गर्नको लागि तदारुकता नदेखाउनुको भनेको आफूले पनि त्यो पक्षमा सकारात्मक पक्षहरू नदेख्नु
शिक्षा विभागसँग सम्बन्धित मन्त्रालयका मन्त्रीहरू पनि त्यसरी सरकार परिवर्तन सँगसँगै परिवर्तन भइरहनु त्यहाँ भित्रका कर्मचारीहरू मन्त्रीका कुरामा अथवा मन्त्रीका चाहिँ योजनामा कस्तो खालको योजना आउँछ के हुन्छ भनेर त्यसैमा रुमल लिनु
बेला बेलामा हुने राजनीतिक परिवर्तनहरूले चाहिँ मन्त्रीहरूले आफ्ना आफ्ना किसिमका चाहिँ प्याटर्नहरूमा पनि आएका प्रतिबन्धहरू बुझाउने
जुन नियमावली बनाएको छ मेडिकल शिक्षामा त्यो चाहिँ कार्यान्वयन हुनुपर्छ
सरकारमा भएका मान्छेहरूले आफ्नो मान्छेहरूलाई जोगाउन पर्ने भएको कारणले र आर्थिक चलखेलको कारणले गर्दाखेरि यो कहिले पनि कार्यान्वयन हुन सक्दैन
Now the sports update.
Sports news.
Novak Djokovic of Serbia has progressed to the quarter-final round of the French Open. Djokovic solved Fernando Verdasco of Spain in straight sets 6-3, 6-4, 6-2. 28th seed Djokovic reached the French Open quarterfinals for the 12th time. Returning from an injury, Djokovic was not seen as a contender at the beginning of the Grand Slam. Despite not being able to showcase the performance based on his caliber, Djokovic, however, has appeared confident in the tournament. 12-time Grand Slam champion Djokovic has last won the French Open in 2016. He will next take on Marco Cecchinato of Italy in the next round. Marco had stunned 8th seed David Goffin of Belgium to book his place in the quarterfinals round. Meanwhile, 2nd seed Alexander Zverev of Germany has also booked his place in the final 8. Zverev saw Karen Khachanov of Russia in 5 sets. 21-year-old Zverev saw unseeded Khachanov 4-6, 7-6, 2-6, 6-3, 6-3. Zverev reached the quarterfinals round of a Grand Slam for the first time after winning the hard-won match, which lasted for 3 hours and 29 minutes. The German youth will now take on 7th seed Dominic Thiem in the quarterfinal round. Time now for some updates on the FIFA World Cup 2018. Brazil solved Croatia 2-0 in an international friendly before the FIFA World Cup 2018. The Seleção superstar Neymar scored in his first match since returning from injury for Brazil. First half of the match played at Anfield in Liverpool, England had ended goalless. Dejan Lovren and Andre Kramaric failed to convert their chances to find the net. Neymar was brought in as a substitute for Fernandinho and scored a brilliant goal for Brazil. Neymar returned to the Brazilian squad after remaining out due to injury for more than 3 months. Firmino scored the second goal in the extra time for Brazil. The Liverpool star was introduced as a substitute for Gabriel Jesus. Hot favourites for the World Cup, Brazil will now play against Austria before leaving for Russia. Brazil is placed alongside Switzerland, Costa Rica and Serbia in Group E at the World Cup. In another international friendly played last night, Switzerland held Spain at a 1-1 draw. Despite taking the lead, Spain could not secure a win in the match played at their home ground. Alvaro Odriozola had found the net for La Furia Roses, but an error from the custodian David De Gea led an equalizer for Switzerland. Ricardo Rodriguez scored after De Gea failed to control a ball. Spain will next take on Tunisia on Saturday. The 2010 world champions are placed alongside Portugal, Morocco and Iran in Group B. Other friendlies played last night saw Mexico secure a 1-0 win over Scotland, while Peru brushed aside Saudi Arabia 3-0 and Costa Rica registered a 3-0 win over Northern Ireland. And that's all for this hour. Keep watching Kantipur TV SD for more news and entertainment. Goodbye for now.